Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. It is time for the big one. It is time for the UEFA World Cup Qualifiers November matches predictions. We have some enthralling matches coming up like Portugal versus Serbia, Spain versus Sweden, Bosnia versus Finland, Croatia, Russia, Italy, Switzerland, you can name it. Norway versus Netherlands. Oh, there is so much to predict and so much anticipation for these matches. If you are new around here, remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, let me know your score predictions in the comment section down below, and let me know where you're watching from. But let's get into the predictions, guys. So here we go. We got Group A to start us off. We got Serbia on 7 games played with 17 points. Portugal right behind them, 6 games played, only 1 point behind them. Then everybody at the bottom, Luxembourg on 6, Republic of Ireland on 5 points, and Azerbaijan at the bottom. So let's get into the predictions for Matchday 9 and Matchday 10. It's all coming down to, it looks like, Portugal versus Serbia on the last match day. But first, we have Azerbaijan versus Luxembourg. Should be a routine win for Luxembourg, who have been improving. Only their 4 losses have come against Serbia and Portugal. So I expect a victory here for Luxembourg, who have been definitely improving in the last couple of years. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Luxembourg. Then we have the Republic of Ireland versus Portugal. It should be a Portugal win. If it's not, if they're going to make life hard for themselves like they did at home against the Republic of Ireland, where Ronaldo had to come up clutch, and when does Ronaldo not come up clutch nowadays? I expect the easy win here, 3-1 for Portugal. Then we have Luxembourg versus the Republic of Ireland. Remember, Luxembourg did beat the Republic of Ireland earlier in this campaign. I'm going to go with the 1-1 draw, though. Ireland have been improving now a little bit since their horrible start to this campaign. So I'm going to go with the 1-1 draw here. And now it comes down to this matchup. We have Portugal versus Serbia. We all know what happened back in, I think it was March, the match. Yes, it was March 27th in Belgrade. It was a 2-2 draw, even though Portugal scored in the last minute, but it was a goal. It crossed the line, crossed the goal line, and wasn't counted. So it ended in a 2-2 draw. Otherwise, we could say Portugal would be already to Qatar. But unfortunately, it was not counted, and we are on to this matchup. And thankfully, we are coming to this sort of drama. What an enthralling match we should have here. We know Portugal very strong at home. We know Serbia, very, very talented squad. When I think of the names of Dusan Tadic, Vlahovic, Kostic, Milinkovic, Savic, they have so many good players, Serbia. It is ridiculous the sort of talent that they have. And I'm not even talking about Mitrovic, who has already 20 goals in the championship already. 20 goals Mitrovic has. And he's very good for Serbia as well, usually. So this game, if it was in Belgrade, I would lean towards Serbia, because then they would have the crowd and all the hostile environment that they would create. But this game is going to be played in Lisbon. I can expect still Serbian fans to be there because they just love their national team. But I am leaning towards a Portugal win. Portugal only need a draw from this game to guarantee qualification to Qatar. Serbia have to go for the win. We're going to get a very open game then, hopefully, because of that. But I'm going to go with a Portugal win here. I'm going to say 2-1 for Portugal. There's no disrespect to Serbia. I still think they will qualify to the World Cup through the playoffs. So don't be disheartened, Serbian fans. You will still, I think, qualify to the World Cup. We move on to Group B, and another crazy group. Sweden, 6 games played on 15 points. Spain on 6 games played, 13 points. Greece, 6 games played, 9 points. And then Georgia and Kosovo, 7 games played, both on 4 points. First matchup we have, it is Georgia versus Sweden. And obviously we know Sweden, under Janne Andersson, the manager, have been very, very convincing in this group, in this qualification group. They were very good in the Euros. A little bit of a shame how they went out in the round of 16 to Ukraine, but it doesn't matter. They have beaten Spain since then. They're looking good. They destroyed Greece. They destroyed Kosovo in their home games in October. So Sweden on a very, very good roll here. And Alexander Isak is just a baller. There's nothing more to say. He is just an absolute baller. Apparently Zlatan is also called up as well. You guys can let me know if that is true. I believe Zlatan is called up to the Sweden national team. So that would be fantastic to see him and Isak combining it with each other. For this matchup against Georgia, it should be a Sweden win. If they make life difficult for themselves, man, they're going to have to go for victory in Spain. So they're going to want to win this match, Sweden. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win for Sweden. Then we have Greece versus Spain. And earlier in the campaign, guys, Greece actually did get a 1-1 draw away to Spain back in March. Do I expect that to happen this time? Not really, because I believe in Luis Enrique's squad. They were very impressive in the Nations League, and we can all say Nations League, but it's still a very high-quality opponents that they faced off, and they were quite good, I thought. Especially against Italy, I thought they were fantastic, even though, yeah, forget about it. So, Greece, Spain. I think there's going to be a routine win for Spain. 2-0 for Spain. Then we have Greece, Kosovo. Kosovo, a little bit disappointing in this group, I thought. I thought they would have done a little bit better, but Greece starting to get back into the footballing world because they have been very, very terrible for the last couple of years, especially losing to Liechtenstein at home. I can remember that at least. So Greece will win this game 2-1 against Kosovo. And then it comes down another matchup, Spain versus Sweden. And holy cow. So we know Spain just cannot beat Sweden. Sweden can beat Spain, or they can draw with each other. Like we saw in the Euros, it ended in 0-0. Spain had a lot of possession of the ball, but didn't really create too many glorious chances from what I can remember. And then in the 2-1 victory for Sweden over Spain back in September, good win for Sweden, who were a bit more, attacking minded. They didn't let Spain have so much of the possession of the ball. So I expect Sweden to get a draw here. I am saying Spain will go to the playoff. I think I'm very impressed with this Sweden squad. They have a lot of good players. And we know Jan Andersson. He's a very good manager, defensive manager, who will set up this squad very defensively against Spain, frustrate them a lot. I don't expect Ibra to then start in this game. I think they're going to go with more better counter-attacking players. Yes, Zlatan can hold up the ball, but they need a bit more pace. So expect then maybe Isak and Kulusevski to start up top as the two strikers. That's my thought. I could be totally wrong, but I think that's what then Anderson will go with in this match. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw between Spain and Sweden. So let's see. Are Sweden going to disappoint me? Let's see. Group C, we have Italy on 14 points, Switzerland on 14 points, Bulgaria on 8, Northern Ireland on 5 points, and Lithuania on 3 points. So it's all coming down to the next match day because we have a big one, guys. There's just so many big games in UEFA. I love it. We have Northern Ireland versus Lithuania quickly. It should be a routine win for Northern Ireland, 2-0, even though Lithuania did beat Bulgaria in the last window in October 3-1. So good for Lithuania to get some confidence, but Northern Ireland at home, tough opponents, 2-0 for Northern Ireland. And then it comes down to this game, guys, at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome, Italy versus Switzerland. And we can say Italy were a little bit disappointing against Spain in the Nations League, but I think Spain were just so fantastic on that day that no team were going to beat them. For Switzerland, under their new manager, Murat Yakin, who's been managing them now for a couple months, I think. Obviously, Switzerland are going to be without Granit Xhaka, which is a big, big miss for them, especially because he is the glue to their midfield. And he was fantastic in the Euros, I thought, especially against France. I think we all can praise Granit Xhaka's performance against France. So that's going to be a big miss to Switzerland, I think, for this game. We know it was a 0-0 draw back in, I believe it was September when they played against each other. Yes, back in September. So I just think the Granit Xhaka is a very big miss. And I don't believe there's no Imbolo as well for Switzerland. That's another big player that they're missing. Two big players. I'm going to go with the Italy win here. I'm going to go 2-0 for Italy. Even though they weren't so good in the Nations League, I still think they will beat Switzerland 2-0. Sorry, Switzerland. Then we have Northern Ireland and Italy. All Italy have to do is just get a draw and they qualify to the World Cup directly. I will go with a 2-1 win for Italy. Switzerland versus Bulgaria should be a routine win for Switzerland. 3-0 for Switzerland. That is then Group C, guys. I think Italy will finish first and Switzerland second place. All right, we'll move on to Group D and my group, guys, as I am a Finnish national team supporter. France on 12 points, Ukraine on 9 points, Finland on 8 points, Bosnia on 7 points, and Kazakhstan on 3 points. Oh my God, this group is ridiculous. This group is absolutely ridiculous. So we first have Bosnia versus Finland. Oh God. I am very, very nervous for this game. So Bosnia versus Finland, they have played a lot against each other now in the last couple of years. They were in the same group for the Euro 2020 qualifiers where Finland beat Bosnia at home 2-0, and then Bosnia absolutely destroyed Finland 4-1 at home. So earlier in this campaign, they met and it was a 2-2 draw. Finland had the 2-1 lead, and Bosnia got a late goal to equalize the match. Oh, this is such a tough match. Expect then, guys, a bigger match preview for this game. I will be having one of my guests come on, and we're going to talk about this matchup in more detail, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to give you an early prediction. I'm not confident in this game. I was very impressed by Bosnia in the second half against Ukraine. I watched them. Yes, Ukraine were a little bit better in the first half, and then all of a sudden Ukraine just sat back and tried to defend the lead while Bosnia were just coming, and eventually they created a glorious goal, I thought. So I'm very impressed by Bosnia. Pjanic, I think, is going to come back into the squad. Dzeko did get injured over the weekend in the Milan derby. Will he be injured for this game? If he's injured, that's a bit of a boost to Finland. If he's not, fuck. That's all I got to say. I can't put it any other words, guys, because Dzeko's, even though he's older, he's still a fantastic player, in my opinion. So I think Bosnia will win this game. It pains me to say it, but I have to be honest. I think Bosnia will win 2-1. I don't expect a draw, even though this group has been the group of draws. I think it will be a 2-1 win for Bosnia. It pains me to say it, but I have to be honest. Then we have France versus Kazakhstan. This should be a routine win for France. If they win this game, they will qualify directly to the Qatar World Cup. So congrats to France, 3-0 win for them. Finland versus France. It should be an easy victory for France. Well, not easy victory. Finland will make life difficult, but it should be a 3-1 win for France. Then we have Bosnia versus Ukraine. Now, this is going to get very interesting because then if Bosnia does beat Finland, it comes down then to Ukraine versus Bosnia. Bosnia will be on 10 points, while Ukraine will be on 9 points. So 1 point separating the two teams. Ukraine, man, there's still no Malinovsky, apparently. That's a big miss, in my opinion. He's such a fantastic player for Atalanta, but he has some beef, I guess, with the Ukrainian national team head coach, so that's a big miss. They were very good in the first half, Ukraine against Bosnia, and then the second half, they were poor. They just were so defensive, trying to hold on to lead, and if they were just a bit more attacking-minded, they could have won that match. But now they're in this situation where they're going to have to beat Bosnia. Bosnia only need to draw. Now, for that reason, I'm going to go with a draw because that's what Ukraine are going to do. Ukraine have drawn, then if they draw this game, that will be 7 draws. So they only have themselves to blame for missing out on the World Cup. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. Congrats to Bosnia. I think they will get second place in this group, even though they are currently 4th. I think Bosnia will get second place. Yes, guys, it pains me to say it, but I have to be honest. We have Group E. We have Belgium on 16, Czech Republic on 11 points, Wales on 11 points, Estonia on 4 points, and Belarus on 3 points. What matches do we have upcoming next? We have, first off, Wales versus Belarus. Wales have just got to keep on winning. Wales and Czech Republic, regardless if they miss out on the second place in this group, they will qualify through the Nations League. So it doesn't really matter, but it would be better for seeding, I think, to get second place. Wales versus Belarus should be a win for Wales, even though they have struggled against Estonia, 0-0 draw and a 1-0 victory. We'll go for another 1-0 victory for Wales. Belgium versus Estonia. This could get ugly. I think the first time these two teams met, it was a 5-2 for Belgium. I'm going to go with a 5-1. Even though Estonia are improving a little bit now, I'm going to still go for a 5-1 for Belgium. Then we have Wales versus Belgium. I think this will end in a 2-1 win for Belgium. They have a bit more quality than Wales. No Bale, of course, to create some magic. But they still have some good players, Wales, and they will frustrate Belgium. But I still think too much quality from this Belgium squad. 2-1 for Belgium. Then we have Czech Republic, Estonia. Should be an easy win for Czech Republic, 3-1. So I think that's how it will go down in Group E. A little bit quicker because there's not too much to play for there. Because both of those teams, Wales and Czech Republic, will qualify to the playoffs regardless through the Nations League. Group F, Denmark already qualified, 24 points. Will they concede a goal? Probably not because they are amazing. Scotland on 17 points, Israel on 13 points, Austria on 10 points, Faroe Islands on 4 points, and Moldova on 1 point. So really, it would take a miracle for Israel to get second place in this group, because then it would be a massive collapse from Scotland. Do I see that happening? No, because Scotland have an easy match against Moldova coming up. It should be an easy victory. 3-0 for Scotland, excuse me. Then we have Denmark, Faroe Islands. It should be a 5-0 for Denmark. Austria, Israel. Israel, not a good team away from Israel, but they're a good home team. So I will go with an Austria win. 2-1 for Austria. Israel, Faroe Islands should be 5-0. Scotland, Denmark. Will Denmark then concede a goal in this game? Can they go 10 matches without conceding a goal? Let's go for a 1-0 for Denmark. I think they will not concede a goal throughout these whole campaign, which is an utter ridiculous stat, if you ask me. Austria, Moldova should be 3-0, 4-0. So that is then Group F. And now we get to another enthralling group. Group G, Netherlands on 19 points, Norway on 17 points, Turkey on 15 points, Montenegro on 11 points, Latvia, Gibraltar on 5 and 0 points respectively. So we know the last match day, it is going to be a massive game. But first off, we have a couple matches in match day 9. We first have, let's get down because there's a lot of games. We have Norway versus Latvia. We know Norway are not going to be without Haaland. It shouldn't really matter. Sorloth and Erdogan will be too much for Latvia. Even though Latvia have been performing very well. You know, they should have beaten Turkey, but Turkey came back with a late comeback, and you know, they only lost to Netherlands 1-0. They got a 3-3 draw with Turkey away. So Latvia are improving, but I think Norway have so much incentive to win this game. 3-0 for Norway. Turkey, Gibraltar, 6-0. Sorry, Gibraltar, it's just not good enough. Netherlands versus Montenegro. I expect Netherlands to win this game. Louis van Gaal is going to lead the Dutch. I was going to say the Danes. The Dutch back to the World Cup. Excuse me, guys. So 3-1 for the Netherlands. Gibraltar, Latvia. 2-0 for Latvia. Montenegro versus Turkey. Turkey have got to win this game because I'm going to predict that Netherlands will beat Norway because Turkey will only be 2 points behind Norway. And then if Turkey beat Montenegro and Norway lose, then Turkey get the second spot, which is pretty harsh, but that's just how it's gone in this group. So I'm going to go with the Turkey win, even though they have not been very impressive. But now I think they will get their campaign together. 2-0 for Turkey, and I think the Netherlands will beat Norway 3-1. I'm sorry, Norway, but with Haaland, they're just going to be so defensive against Netherlands. They're going to try and go for a draw and then look at what the result is between Turkey and Montenegro. But I just still think the Netherlands have too much quality. 3-1 for the Netherlands. And then we move on to Group H, where it's also an enthralling group. Russia on 19 points, Croatia on 17 points, Slovakia on 10 points, Slovenia on 10 points, Malta and Cyprus at the bottom with both 5 points and have been very good in this campaign, even though they haven't really been thrashed too much, but they've been impressive. They have been thrashed a little bit, but still. We first have Russia versus Cyprus. Should be an easy victory for Russia. 2-0 for them. Then we have Malta, Croatia. Croatia usually not good away from home, but they're playing Malta, so it should be a routine win. 4-0. Then we have Slovakia versus Slovenia. This is tough to call. Slovakia. First matchup was a 1-1. I think I'm going to go with that same result. 1-1 between Slovakia and Slovenia. We have Malta versus Slovakia, 3-0 for Slovakia. Slovenia versus Cyprus, 2-0 for Slovenia. And then it comes down to this matchup, guys. Croatia versus Russia. Oh my God. How will Russia under Valery Karpin handle the Croatian atmosphere? This match will be played in Split. I like that decision. Split has a very beautiful stadium. How will Zlatko Dalic's squad come into this game where Croatia are going to have to beat Russia? Whereas Russia, they can be defensive and just have a low block, get the draw, and automatically qualify to the World Cup. Now, Croatia is a very good home side, even though they did draw with Slovakia in the last window in October 2-2. I'm not too worried about that result. I just think Croatia have way too much quality. But I'm just worried about, I don't know what I'm worried about. I'm just worried that Russia are going to really frustrate this Croatian side. Really frustrate them. Kramaric is a very key player because he's not a striker. He's more of a 10, like a cam player. That's what Kramaric is. Croatia needed like a striker, really. They need a Mandzukic, but obviously Mandzukic is now retired. So I still think Croatia will win this game. I don't know how, but they always find a way. They always find a way. We know this matchup that they had in the quarterfinals in the World Cup, one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. Drama. I'm going to go with the Croatia win here. It's in Split. I think it will be a 2-1 win for Croatia, and they will qualify to the World Cup automatically, directly, whatever you want to say. Group I, we have England on 20 points, Poland on 17 points, Albania on 15 points, Hungary on 11 points, Andorra at 6 points, and San Marino at the bottom, but they have scored a goal, so congrats to San Marino. The matches we have coming up on Matchday 9 and 10 in this group, we have first Andorra, Poland, 5-0 Poland, Lewandowski hat-trick. Do I need to say more? No, I don't. Hungary versus San Marino, 7-0 Hungary, Soboslai, hat-trick. Do I need to say more? No. England versus Albania. Okay. England have a little bit of injuries, but they have too much quality for Albania, who have been impressive. I'm super impressed by De Broja, the Southampton striker. Very, very good player. But they're facing England away. If this was in Tirana, maybe Albania would have a chance. But I'm going to go with the England win here. I'm going to say 2-0 for England. Then we have San Marino, England, 7-0. Albania, Andorra, let's say 4-0. 4-0 for Albania. And then we have Poland versus Hungary. The first time these two teams met, it was the 3-3 draw. But I think Poland will have already qualified by then. So I'm going to go with another high-scoring draw, 2-2 between Poland and Hungary. So that is how it's going to go down in Group I. So Poland, I think, will eventually get the second spot and go to the playoffs, while England will directly qualify to the World Cup. Then we have Group J, where it's very, very interesting for second place. We already know Germany are through to Qatar, 21 points, Romania on 13 points, North Macedonia on 12 points, Armenia on 12 points, Iceland on 8 points, and Liechtenstein at the bottom with the one solid draw. Then that came against Armenia, and Armenia will be kicking themselves because that could really cost them. It could really cost them. First off, we have Armenia versus North Macedonia. So, man, I'm just so disappointed in Armenia. They had such a glorious chance. Ever since they drew that game with Liechtenstein, it hasn't been pretty. You know, they haven't won a game like in 5 games now. Ever since they beat Romania 3-2, they drew with North Macedonia 0-0. They lost to Germany 6-0. They drew with Liechtenstein 1-1. They drew with Iceland away 1-1, and they lost to Romania 1-0. So it's been a tough time for Armenia. Can they get it back together? And then in the last 2 games, they're playing Germany at home and North Macedonia at home. 2 tough games, very, very tough games to try and win, because they're going to have to win both games realistically. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw here between Armenia and North Macedonia. Then we have Romania, Iceland. I think Romania, Iceland have been improving now. They were horrible at the beginning of this World Cup qualifiers, but they're improving now. I still think, though, Romania will get the second spot in this group. 2-0 for Romania. Germany, Liechtenstein, 7-0. 7-0, yeah. Let's go with that. Germany will destroy Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein versus Romania. Romania will win this game because they're going to have to win this game to qualify to Qatar. Oh, no, not qualify to Qatar. Qualify to the playoffs, excuse me. So 3-0 for Romania. And then the other games, Armenia, Germany, let's say 4-1 for Germany, and North Macedonia, Iceland, 2-0 for North Macedonia. So that is all the groups, guys, and all the predictions for match day 9 and 10. I want to hear your predictions in the comment section down below. Should be enthralling. Expect live streams coming up where we're going to discuss the games and all the action that's going to come up in UEFA and all the other confederations. The World Cup qualifiers is a banging time. Everybody disses on it, but I love it, especially in UEFA, because now we have the final 2 match days, which should be exhilarating. So stay tuned for those, guys. Stay tuned for the live streams. Have a beautiful day. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel, like the video. It's your boy Michael. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Stay safe. Stay tuned for the live streams and all the World Cup qualifiers content coming up. Have a beautiful day. Peace.